Parable of the Two People, a key to understanding the kingdom. A parable is a short allegorical story that is meant to illustrate a truth or moral lesson. We read in the Bible that Jesus spoke in parables, meaning that his stories and many of his words were never meant to be understood literally as they contain hidden principles. In my opinion, religious adherence to a literal interpretation of Scripture concealed much of the meaning behind Jesus' stories that were intended to be understood figuratively. It is my opinion that an important principle Jesus taught, but is often missed, is this: there are two people within us. Once we understand this, it is a key to unlocking many of Jesus' parables. This idea can also be found within many of the Hebrew Bible stories, the Christian Old Testament, when viewed as allegories, simple stories that are meant to convey a greater moral lesson. To me, it also sheds light into the old stories of a God of duplicity, a God who speaks and behaves in two different ways within the Bible, and the many dualistic concepts taught throughout Scriptures: God, devil, Christ, Antichrist, heaven, hell, etc. So are we binary, meaning are we comprised of two people within? Let's explore this idea and attempt to further define who the two people are within us. Let's look at the parable of two people found within Luke 17:30-37. Even so will it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day, he who is on the housetop and his goods are in the house, let him not come down to take them away. And likewise, the one who is in the field, let him not turn back. Remember Lot's wife. Whoever seeks to save his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life will preserve it. I tell you, in that night there will be two men in one bed. The one will be taken and the other will be left. Two women will be grinding together. The one will be taken and the other left. Two men will be in the field. The one will be taken and the other left. And they answered and said to him, Where, Lord? So he said to them, Wherever the body is, there the eagles will be gathered together. This parable is about the revealing of the Son of Man, a label we read that Jesus used to refer to himself. I've heard it taught that the Son of Man, Jesus, is God and man as one, a God-man, the Anointed, the Christ. Okay, then let's define the revealing of the Son of Man, Christ, as this: Christ in you, as referenced in other places within the New Testament. My point is that the revealing of this Son of Man takes place within you. The parable makes a distinction between the death of the brain and body, what we consider to be ourself, and a part of us that does not die, something hidden from our sight. This parable is not teaching that there will be a second coming of Jesus in the sky to usher in the end of the world or the beginning of a new one. It is teaching that there are two people within each person. One will pass away and the other will be left, meaning still exist. The eagles eating a dead body further illustrates this point. A part of who you believe you are will no longer exist someday, and that is the inevitable death of our physical body. But Jesus is sharing that we are greater than just the physical form, and that many remain unaware that there's something much deeper beneath and beyond our mental processes. There is also a warning implied within the parable of the two people within us, and that is this: we should learn to pay attention to our deepest being by not giving priority to things that concern the mind, the concerns of life that often consume our time but ultimately will not matter. So, as the ancient Greeks might say, we should strive to know thyself. And by doing so, we can become whole and experience the fullness of life now. Let's dig deeper into this idea beyond the Bible verses and metaphors now. There are two people within us. What I label the visible me, our physical body and brain, and the invisible me, our deeper core being, what I like to call our life source. The body and brain are ours, tangible, but they are not who we really are down deep. I prefer to view my mind and body as the tools and vehicle I use to function here on planet Earth. The invisible me, on the other hand, is what I would describe as intangible, gives life to the visible form, and is connected with everyone and everything. It is pure energy, what I like to call awareness. The visible me is not only comprised of the brain and body, but also the concept of self. The self, how we perceive ourselves, is a personal identity that many believe to be all that they are, and consists of memories and mental constructs gathered from past experiences to create an individual identification. These are beliefs that are held within the mind about who we think we are. It is our cerebral sense of being disconnected yet distinct from others. I am Charles. I am a person. I am a mother. I am a son. I am a teacher. I am a nerd. I am confident. I am pretty. I am a failure. I am successful, etc. are a few examples of labels that may form a mental image, a description of one's person. Yet, even though the descriptors may be factual, the self is not real. It's only a psychologically held perception, a collection of beliefs about our mind and body and our past life story, a concept of self, I suspect, to grasp our individuality. The invisible me, on the other hand, is not a concept of self. It is not a separate me, in fact. It is who we truly are beneath brain and body, awareness, being. And I think that our deepest being is also the source of our greatest wisdom. Unfortunately, this core essence of a person is often covered over, silenced, suppressed, hidden by one's obsessive focus on mental processes. Thinking, imagining, reasoning, believing, knowing, etc. The human race as a whole is infatuated, enamored, in fact, by its ability to reason. We are drawn in and caught up in perpetual thinking. So much so that when the visible me, the mind, the self, is left as sole ruler of a person, actually believed to be the entire person, it becomes dominant over our deepest core being. There is disconnection happening within. That person is only moderately functioning by way of brain, body, and the five senses, collecting information from the outside in. And awareness is almost completely turned off. We cannot experience the fullness of life until we learn to live life from the inside out, rather than from the outside in. We can learn to just be, alive through awareness, something beneath but also beyond our thoughts and mental processes. To better understand this lesson, try putting it into practice in your life. First, begin by creating space apart from thinking. To do this, practice pulling back from thoughts by taking a slow, deep breath, then focus on several slow inhales and exhales. With some practice, you will begin to see that when you stop thinking for a few moments, you are the awareness, a silent observer, apart from your thought stream. You are being. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos as I will continue to share more of my experiences and practices.